Good morning to you all. Afternoon actually, June 15th, and I am a proud mom. I can say that out loud and unashamed. My daughter Malia had graduated on Saturday, and then she also took Student of the Year award for Puget Sound Skills. It's a course separate from the high school she went. Kind of prep for college. And what else? And oh yes, we had our family over and friends on Saturday, and we celebrated. We had a party going on here, and that was just awesome. And just being able to see my daughter smile and just be so happy to be celebrated of something she had really worked hard towards and accomplished and succeeded and has done so well. She's also working today. It's her first day of work. And she's working for a gaming company in Seattle alongside my husband, Jed. So I can't wait for her to get back home and ask her how was it? You know, how does she like it? And she may, you know, she has some future plans, but as of right now, all is well, and this is what is going on in our life. And I'm just so happy, just so happy, and just so fulfilled as a parent. And that's what we all parents look forward to in the, you know, put so much effort and we put so much timing, you know, in our children. And most days are stressful, and then once in a while comes this feeling, and I am milking it as much as I can because it doesn't come that often, and it's just awesome. So that's that on the personal level. Actually, not that I'm gonna start some non-personal talk right now, but on the health department, I have been feeling so much better. I have been able to take upon more stressful events where before I could not be around too many people. Actually, 3 weeks ago I had the last seizure-like episode because we were at a graduation party as well. And when there are too many people talking, music and stuff like that, I could tell that the central nervous system just, it couldn't take it, and it just went boom, and I would go into these episodes. But I've started neurotherapy, which are shots of particular medication along my spine from the top to the bottom on each side. So there's the spine, so on both right and left, down the bottom, as well as the adrenal glands, both right and left. This Thursday I'm going to go again and have the third session, and then after that I have one more session, and then we probably are going to change the medication treatment, do something else. And it's really working. It's really working. I have been able to prep for the party, do everything, be able to do not necessarily the shopping. I still drive very short distances, 5 to 10 minutes radius from my house, and most of the time all the time actually, I take either Malia with me, whom she has a driver's permit, or Chet's with me, and he usually drives if he's with me. So I really try not to go by myself. But that's good and improvement too. So I've been able, you know, to do the cooking and be able to have everybody over, and we had such a good party, and everything was great, and I had such a good time with our family here and friends as well, and that was awesome. But what I've noticed the past month, I've lost a high amount of my hair, probably 30% of my hair. I don't have that much volume. It may look long and all that, which I'm so happy, but it's barely there, and I'm like, that needs to change because otherwise I end up needing to shave it all off. So I am on malaria medicine, We're not going to treat new information. It's better to treat the co-infections first, and then once those are eradicated, then treat the malaria. So treat the Lyme. So I am on a malaria medication, as well as just supplements of fish oil. I just ordered some vitamin C, extremely important. I've read for people that fight Lyme and co-infections for any autoimmune, just because it strengthens the immune system. And there are a couple of other things that I'm on. Chlorophyll, for anybody that just needs a little bit more, just healthier red blood cells. Chlorophyll pills are really good, or you can have the drops in the water, and it's a greenish looking thing. So other than that, it's been good. These shots, it's so funny because, and the reason I'm getting these shots is because my central nervous system was only in the sympathetic mode, which means the fight and flight response. Everything, I know that everything that happened, I would just tense up, and maybe physically from the outside, it didn't seem like, but I felt it inside. Or I can actually relax now, and I have to ask Chet, is this what you feel when you relax? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh wow, okay. Other things that are bringing out, it's emotional, anything that I have stuffed over the years, which we all tend to do, some more than others, but don't think that I'm the only one, because I'm not. I know you guys, some of you do, that have that habit to just quite, you're quite an expert at it, just as I am. But I have shoved emotions inside of myself somewhere. They're coming out. And I noticed that there's not much of a filter on what I say. I actually pretty much express. It's not done meanly. I'm not doing it in a mean kind of thing, but it's almost like the truth is just really coming out. I find it extremely liberating. Oh my gosh, I find it liberating. So a lot of crying I usually notice afterwards. The first session, the next day I cried, and I had no particular reason why, but I would just constantly be crying. And then after the second session, I would just have these deep needs to cry, but I never really got to cry, which that was another thing. For years I had a hard time crying. And the good me and the bad me, I mean, like the angel on the shoulder and the devil on the shoulder, are having intense conversations since these shots. It's unreal. It's very intense. And things are coming out from the past I forgot about. And I'm like, oh, I remember now. I used to think like that or feel like that. And they're coming out. And one of which, and I think this might be my core problem, I'm not sure, maybe something else is going to come out, but one of which is intense hate towards the gender that I am. And I remember that started around 13 years old, once we started to develop and all that. And I think it has to do with how the boys kind of reacted or acted towards me once you start to develop, and they start to notice all of a sudden there's not that innocence in between the boys and the girls in the play area. It's like, oh, the noticing the difference in between genders and the hormonal stuff. And I remember I totally hated the fact I had talked to God, and I just would talk to him, and I told him, I said, you just made a huge mistake in the fact that you created me as a female. And I hated that part of myself, the gender, for years. And then it went dormant somehow. I don't know what happened. And then now it's surfacing again. And Chad's like, but that's what I love about you, the female part. So I'm like, the nice part right now, I can also sit down and rational, really kind of try to go all the way into the past and see, why do I feel like that towards myself? And then once that's done, it's, what do I do about it now? because we all feel a certain way about ourselves. Some are good, some are not so good. But what do you do with that once you find out? And it's, you know, I know my belief, it's built or on a schizophrenic way of the cultural, how the culture looked at women back, you know, when I grew up, and how it was presented and how it was talked, and just that macho kind of man of looking at the women as subservient and stuff like that. And I realized that, so that's information I have right now. I'm like, okay, that's the reason. What do I do about it right now? And I will not, my choice is I'm not gonna let it self-destroy me, because I am different today than I was when I was 12 years old. I think different, I have more information, I have a better understanding, I hope, towards certain things, to be able to take a better decision towards something that I see that maybe is not as healthy within my emotional status, which it can mess up on so many other levels. So I thank God for that, you know, the fact that I have that information and the strength and power to be able to make a good decision with what I'm starting to see coming up. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's these things need to be dealt with, and but needs to be dealt with in a very healthy kind of way, where they're no longer destructive or no longer harmful. So that I'm thankful to God. I'm like, yeah, let all the garbage just get out so we can deal with it in a very appropriate, healthy way, and then be able to move on and be that much stronger, that much wiser, and that much wiser. I don't know what the third one would be, but anyway, so that's all for today. I'm sorry it's a long one, but I haven't seen you guys for a while, so there you go. Bye, have a good day.